welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen, and today we are making a fun soap using some ingredients sent to me from Bulk Apothecary. They are a huge makerspace distributing. If you've never shopped with Bulk Apothecary before, just a ton of stuff to look at. So let me show you the ingredients they sent me to play around with. And I had the honor of being their Maker of the Month in April. If you go to their website and see their blog, I'm on there, and I was just really honored to be asked to be the Maker of the Month. So there's that. So they sent me some fabulous products to play around with and make some soap with. So let's start with a soaping staple, organic extra virgin olive oil. And any olive oil, olive pomace, olive oil, non-organic, non-extra virgin, it's all wonderful in soap, but this is a very quality olive oil, and I'm really looking forward to using this in soap. They also sent me rice bran oil, and rice bran oil is fabulous. Oil in tandem with olive oil makes really, really great soap, so I'm excited to use that. They also sent me another soaping staple, coconut oil. So that's going in there. You know I love coconut oil in my soaps. It's the lather building oil. Love it. And then they also sent me some cocoa butter. And I love cocoa butter in my soaps. I put cocoa butter or shea butter in pretty much all my soaps because I just love it that much. And I think the skin benefits are just good stuff. So that's going to go in there too. And they sent me fragrances. So today's fragrance is going to be lavender vanilla. And this smells good. It does have some lavender, but that vanilla warms it up a bit. So I couldn't find if this fragrance has vanillin. It says vanilla, it smells warm. I'm gonna assume there's some vanillin in here, but it sure does smell fabulous. So that's gonna be the fragrance today. And I'm hoping it doesn't discolor too much because they sent me some colors, some micas to play with. They sent me this beautiful purple. It's called a violet blue. It looks purple in the package. So this is going to be fun to see what this actually looks like in soap. You can see the blue tint in there. I see purple. Do you see blue? This is a controversy. Do you see blue or purple? Anyway, that color is definitely going to be one of them. And then they sent jungle green, which I think is gorgeous. And then also luster brown. I love a good brown mica in soap. It's a punchy color. I love it. So I'm actually going to use all three of these colors to do a swirl, and I'd like to do some piping on top. And let's talk about the mold that I'm using today. I have my 5-pound Makesy molds that I got in my soap making kit from them, and I do have a discount code for Makesy down below. It's just a really great mold. It's got the thumb holes in the bottom to pop the silicone out. It's fabulous. I love that it comes with a lid so I can throw the blanket over the top because you know I love gel phase. So this is the mold that we're going to do today, and I have to go formulate a recipe with these 4 oils, and I may add a little castor oil in there too, just because I love how castor supports the lather at a rate of 5% or less. It doesn't take much castor. You never want to go, I think over 10% would be too much. It's not great saponified, but under 5% castor oil is a fabulous additive in your soap recipes. So I'm going to go formulate a recipe, which of course I will be sharing down below in the description box. And the description box is, if you see the word more or an upside down arrow under the title of the video, that's where all the information is, and links and recipes and all the good stuff is there. So click around, you'll find it. I hope you find it. So I think that's it. I've got to go formulate a recipe, and let's come back and make some really luxurious ingredient recipe here, lavender vanilla soap. All right, we are back, and it's time to measure out our oils and butters to go in this formulation that I have figured out. And to start with, I'm going to be measuring in ounces, but the recipe will be in percentages and grams down below. And you can Google ounces to grams if you get frustrated with me using ounces, because I am in the US and that's just how I think. You can Google it. It's so easy. Just type in ounces to grams. You could put in any ounce and it will tell you the grams. So a little homework for you, but you can do it. The first ingredient I need is 18 ounces of coconut oil. And this is a 14-ounce jar, so I'm going to have to add a little of my own, but I'm going to use this entire jar here, and that's 510 grams of coconut oil. So let's get that measured out. And this is an ice cream scoop. It's a nice blunt edge, so I like to use that in hard oils. You can dig around real easy. Flexible spatulas don't work good in hard oils. right, the next ingredient in our formulation is cocoa butter. I need 7 ounces or 198 grams of cocoa butter. And this is a very high percentage of cocoa butter. These are going to be luxurious. Melted down my hard oil and butter, and now we're going to add our liquid oils, and I need 2 ounces of castor or 57 grams of castor oil, and this is the castor I'm using today. It's from Amazon. All right, the next liquid oil is our olive oil, and this is 15 ounces in this jar, and I'm going to use the entire bottle, so 15 ounces or 425 grams of olive oil. And the same with our last oil, which is rice bran oil, 15 ounces or 425 grams of rice bran oil. All right, we are back with our lye water solution, which I'll talk about in a second. First, I want to show you the piping tip I'm going to use today, if everything's behaving. It's a Wilton 1M star tip, and I'm going to do little flowers and dots just randomly all around the top with this. And I'm planning on doing my colors stacked in one piping bag, and I'll show you that when I get there. I've done it before in another video, but I'll show you how to do a multicolor piping in your bag, if everything's behaving. And I'm going to add some titanium dioxide to my unmica'd portion just to keep this on the brighter side in case this fragrance has vanillin in it, which I suspect it does. It's a very nice fragrance, and I already put it in here at a rate of 3% per volume of my soap batter. So it's in the oils here, ready to go. Smells beautiful. So this is a new formula for me today. I've tweaked, around different soap recipes because I wanted to use all of those wonderful oils from Bulk Apothecary. So I'm going to proceed with caution. This is a new fragrance. This is a new recipe. It is about 60% liquid to 40% hard oils, so that puts it in my favor for things not speeding up and all that. But we're going to proceed with caution. Here is my lye water solution. It's distilled water that I dissolved about 2 teaspoons of cane sugar in. I put a pinch of Tussa silk in there. This has 8.1 ounces of lye, sodium hydroxide, and that's 230 grams of lye to 17 ounces of water. And I'm not sure, I didn't look up the grams on that, but so about double for water in here. So that's what's going on. And I did put some sodium lactate at a rate of 1 teaspoon per pound of oils is how you use sodium lactate. Again, the sugar, the silk, the sodium lactate, that's all extra. I like extra, but you don't need it to make soap. You just need lye and water. So there's that. Let's proceed with caution. I've got my colors off to the side, all ready to go. And I want to do a spoon handle swirl. My little trusty cheapy spoon here, but this handle works perfect for doing a swirl in this mold, so that's what we're going to do. Again, if everything is behaving. So now I have a little bit of leftover batter of all of my colors, but it is not anywhere near piping consistency. So this fragrance is behaving great. This recipe behaved beautifully. All's good, but I need to be patient now and wait for this to thicken up. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. When they're thick, I have my press and seal cling wrap. I don't know if you can do it with another kind because I've only ever used this, but this works great. You lay out your press and seal with the sticky side up, like that. And then when these batters are thick enough, I'm going to line them up on here, roll it up in a little tube, and put it in my piping bag. And that's how we're going to get a multicolor piping coming out. But I need to be patient and wait for these to thicken up. It is the next day, and look how pretty that looks. I love it. The tops, the colors. I don't see discoloration coming on either, and it smells fantastic. Let me tell you what I did with this mold last night. I have my little heating pad, but this is longer than my heating pad, and my cooler didn't fit over the top of this. So I brought my soap upstairs and did the oven method to get it to go through gel phase, which is I turned my oven to 170 degrees and let it warm up, and then I put the soap mold in and turned the oven off. So it went in warm and then cooled down, and I just left it overnight. So I do believe that we got gel phase going. So let's get this out of the mold. And again, this Makesy mold is so easy because you have the little thumb holes here to push the silicone out. But let's get this out and see how that spoon swirl came out on the inside. And I will talk a little more about how this soap batter behaved in the fragrance. I'll give you a spoiler alert. It was very slow moving. So anyway, let's get into it and see what we've got. We are back with the lovely Olga. Because this is a nice long loaf, we're going to go ahead and use my multi-bar here and get these cut. And so let me talk about, so going into this, I didn't have a lot of information on the fragrance for vanillin content and reviews on if it speeds up trace or not. So it was kind of, you know, shooting in the dark on that. But that all worked out beautifully, and this recipe was a very slow mover. So the whole thing was nice and slow moving. Oh, these are going to be gorgeous. Look at that. How fun is that? So yeah, slow moving, the fragrance, the recipe, all of that. I had to wait a good couple of minutes. I did some dishes and waited for this portion to thicken up so I could pour it and it wouldn't get muddied. And I'm glad I did. You can see the colors are very definitive. They didn't blend together and muddy up. And then I had to wait, I'm going to say 2 hours. It was over an hour and a half to come back in and do the piping. I waited about an hour before I put it onto my little cling wrap and rolled it all up in a little tube, and then I waited another hour before it was ready to pipe down. It took a little while. I went off and did a whole bunch of other stuff, but yeah, patience. It's one of those things where you have to walk away and leave it, but you have to keep checking on it because you don't want it to get too hard to pipe. And when I piped it, it was still a little sloopy, but it was firm enough where the little rosettes here have defined corners on them. They have little peaks on them. It wasn't super fluid, but I probably could have waited another half hour to an hour and it still would have been good piping. But I just had to get on with my afternoon. I couldn't sit around and wait forever. Oh, I love these colors together. This is really pretty. And I'm not seeing any rim of discoloration on here. So I am going to say that these are not going to discolor. That's what I'm calling right now, just in my experience over the years and what I'm seeing. I think that color looks stable to me. So I am delighted with this recipe formula. And I think we're going to give this a lather test just because I want to try it and see with that high cocoa butter content. Cocoa butter is fabulous in soap, but it's not a super lathering butter. But the coconut oil is a lathering oil. So yeah, we'll do a lather test. I love how the little florets got all modelly like that. It's cool looking. All right, let's get into our last little bit here. This was fun to do, and I just thank Bulk Apothecary for sending me these fabulous butters and oils and fragrances to play with and micas. What a treat. I really, really enjoyed this. Here we go. This little end piece, oh, that's cute. Look at that. This is going to be what I'll use to do our lather test with. But yeah, this was just a pleasure. I enjoyed this whole experience. Okay, and as I'm cutting this, my soap cutter is set at 1 1/4 inch spacing here, so 1.25 inches. So they're a little thicker than an inch, which I like a nice beefy bar of soap. And I'm getting 15 nice size. These are going to be good 5-ounce bars off of this recipe today with the amounts that I used and that Makesy soap mold, the 5-pound soap mold. And also, I could not put the lid on. The Makesy website recommends about 48 ounces of oils, and then of course you have your water volume on top for that mold, and it can hold more, but I went more than that, and the lid didn't fit on here. It would have smushed my little florets. So just a word on that. You can go a little less in there, but out of the recipe that we did today, we're getting 15 really beefy bars, plus that end slice that I can do a lather test on. So I'm super happy with that. I am going to let these sit for a couple hours. They're nice and firm, but I want them to firm up a little bit more. And this is a standard size soap bar, so my stamp will not fit on the side, so I'll be stamping the fronts of these, just so you know. Normally I do a tall skinny, and this is a standard bar, which I think is fabulous sometimes. Oh goodness, I'm just smitten with the colors. I think this is so pretty, and it speaks to me. This is like, definitely lavender vanilla looking to me. But anyway, we'll talk more when we come back for the lather test. So I'm going to wait a little bit, come in, do the beveling stamping. Then we're going to wait a few days. I like to give my soap a good couple of days before I come in and try and lather it up. And we will wrap it up with the lather test in a little bit. All right, for beveling today, I'm going to be beveling my soaps into my scrap pack from Eco Soap Bank. I'm donating all these scraps. They have a really great organization. I'll leave a link down below, and you can read up on what all they do at their own website. I don't need to tell you all about it. You can go look it up. So that's where all my scraps are going, and I'm going to bevel these right on in here. right, we are back, and it has been several days, gosh, almost a week since we cut these, so I want to do the lather test now, and I'm very happy to report we've had 0 discoloration. So the day we cut it, that's what it ended up, and I just am so delighted. It smells fantastic. So I want to give this a lather test with this formulation we did. You know, new fragrance, new recipe. It's always a risk, but I kind of love doing that, going in and trying new stuff. It's exciting. Oh, this lathers beautifully. Oh, hello. Hello, gorgeous. Look at that. I mean, big, beautiful lather right out of the starting gates. This feels creamy, luxurious. Let's add a little water. Oh, this is divine, y'all. This is, look at that. This is divine, the lather. Color me happy. I am loving it. And I'm so thankful to Bulk Apothecary for sending the micas and the fabulous oils and all of that to play around with in the fragrance. The whole experience was delightful. I really love it. They have a lot to look at over there. I have to say, so honest, full disclosure, honest review, the fragrance smells great. It behaved great, but I was shooting in the dark because they don't have a lot of great information on the fragrant oils over there, like vanillin percentage and things like that. So I wish they had a little more information on the fragrances. This one was perfect. I would definitely use it again. I'm so happy with it, but there, just full disclosure. But, oh my word, it got some fabulous bars here. So I thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the recipe today, and I hope you have a wonderful day.